boys and girls, welcome to another singing time. Today we're going to talk about a very special word, and I'm sure you've heard this word a lot. The word is kind. Do you know what kind means? Maybe you've heard it as kindness. What does it mean to be kind? Before we get into that discussion, let's have our opening song. Today we're going to sing Love One Another.
Ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. As I have loved you, love one another. This new commandment, love one another. By this shall men know ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
Beautiful. Thank you for singing that today. Now, let's go back to this word kind that I spoke about before. Do you know what the word kind means? Kind has several different definitions. One that you might think of is, I have 3 kinds of shoes, or I like to eat all kinds of fruit. But the definition that we'll be talking about today is about being kind to people. If you are being kind, you are being friendly, considerate, generous, polite. I know our parents always teach us to be kind to one another, to show love to one another, to share, to be polite. Another word that could be used is charity. In Moroni chapter 7, verse 47, it says, "Charity is the pure love of Christ." As we're trying to become more like Christ, we should show love to others as Christ shows love to us. The next song that we'll sing today is Kindness Begins With Me. The words are, I want to be kind to everyone, for that is right, you see. So I say to myself, remember this, kindness begins with me. I'll say it one more time. I want to be kind to everyone, for that is right, you see. So I say to myself, remember this, kindness begins with me.
I want to be kind to everyone, for that is right, you see. So I say to myself, remember this, kindness begins with me. I want to be kind to everyone, for that is right, you see. So I say to myself, remember this, kindness begins with me.
Good job. We'll sing that song a little bit later again. And you can also rewind this video as many times as you need to learn the words and practice singing it over and over. There's a story I want to read to you from the May Friend magazine. It's called Doing What Jesus Would Do by Julia A., who is 12 years old and she lives in California. This is a story that she shared. Recently, a close friend told me some heartbreaking news. Her dog Holly had died. My friend Allie had really loved her dog. As soon as I heard the news, I was devastated. Allie and I had spent year after year playing with and admiring Holly. Once, we worked hard to give Holly a bath on a hot summer day. As soon as we finished washing her, she ran into the mud and her legs got all dirty. I wanted to do something to help Allie feel better, so I made her a care package and delivered it to her doorstep. She loved the kindness I showed her. We spent a few moments of silence as we hugged each other and cried. When I left, I realized I had done the right thing. Comforting someone is what Jesus would have done. I know that everyone can set a good example and follow Christ. Have you had any experiences of someone being very kind to you during a hard time? Have you done any kindness for someone else? About a month ago, my kids and I flew back to Hong Kong from the United States. And because of COVID-19, we had to be quarantined in our home for 2 whole weeks, and that was really hard. We couldn't go outside, we couldn't go grocery shopping, we couldn't go to the playground, we couldn't even go for a walk. We had to stay inside our home. But we had a lot of people helping us. Our friends and family brought food for us, and our primary friend, Chase, even came over with his mom and delivered some homemade bread. It was such a nice surprise, and we really appreciated their kindness. Here are some other things that other children have been doing to show kindness. Lena, age 8 from Idaho, made homemade cards and sent them to her primary teachers and her grandparents. 4-year-old Samson in England went on a walk with his parents and wanted to do something to make other people happy. So when they went on their walk, they took some sidewalk chalk with them and left happy messages on the path to make other people smile. Levick, age 8, from Peru, said that during this COVID-19 quarantine, he has learned how to index and help his parents do family history work. Emily and Lily, who live in Utah, wanted to help their neighbors feel better after they had an earthquake. So they went door to door and sang primary songs to all of their neighbors. They said it was just like Christmas caroling, except in the spring. Those are all wonderful ways to show kindness and love to other people. We are all God's children, and we should all treat one another with love and respect and kindness. Let's practice singing the song one more time.
I want to be kind to everyone, for that is right, you see. So I say to myself, remember this, kindness begins with me. I want to be kind to everyone, for that is right, you see. So I say to myself, remember this, kindness begins with me.
In this week's Come Follow Me lesson, we learned about how members of the church in Alma's time served the people around them. In Alma chapter 1, verse 30, it says, "And thus, in their prosperous circumstances, they did not send away any who were naked, or that were hungry, or that were athirst, or that were sick, or that had not been nourished. And they did not set their hearts upon riches. Therefore they were liberal to all, both old and young, both bond and free, both male and female, whether out of the church or in the church, having no respect to persons as to those who stood in need." This scripture is saying that it didn't matter who needed help. It didn't matter if they were friends or not. It didn't matter if they were rich or poor. It didn't matter if they were sick or thirsty or if they didn't have any clothing. The members of the church in Alma's time reached out and helped everyone in need. They are a good example to us. They teach us how we should treat others. We should always love and care for everyone around us, no matter who they are. Do you remember another song that we learned a few weeks ago called I Will Be Valiant? If we are serving others around us, we are also being valiant because we are doing as Jesus would do. Let's sing I Will Be Valiant.
The Lord needs valiant servants to do His work in the latter day, who follow the teachings of Jesus and serve His people in a loving way. I will be His servant and keep my covenants valiantly. I'll stand for truth, I'll stand for right. The Lord can depend on me.
Did you remember the words to I Will Be Valiant? Remember, you can always rewind this video and play it back as many times as you need to practice the words. The last thing I want to do before we end our singing time today is to give you a challenge. And the challenge is, in this following week, I'd like you to try and find a way to serve someone, whether it's someone in your family, someone in your community, a neighbor, a friend, a relative. Think of some way that you can serve them and let them know that they are loved. The friend had some great ideas on how to serve others. Here are a few more. You could draw a picture or write a nice note to someone. You could send a little package to someone with useful things like tissues, pens, a notebook, or lip balm. You could maybe even throw in a little bottle of hand sanitizer. You could make a treat to share with someone. You could give a fun little present like a little stuffed animal or some fuzzy socks to a friend who's feeling sad. We've talked about a lot of ways today of how you can show kindness or love to other people. So, talk it over with your parents. See what they think. Come up with some ideas and find someone to serve this week. I'd love to hear what you come up with. You can have your parents email me, and maybe it'll be included in our next video. To close our singing time, let's end with the song that we opened with, Love One Another.
As I have loved you, love one another. This new commandment, love one another. By this shall men know ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. As I have loved you, love one another. This new commandment, love one another. By this shall men know ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
I hope you all have a great week. I love you. See you next time.